Okay, let me share my screen. How do we share the screen again? Share the screen. Share screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so very quick. It's a very simple process to do it. And we just need to know how to use Microsoft. And I have this in the folder. Look at this folder, this document right here. You see, operating agreement 2. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so whenever you have to do the operating agreement, what you do is to go into, the folder. You will see operating agreement 2. What we're going to do is basically create a copy of it. I'm gonna close this one. I'm gonna assume that I want to create an operating agreement for one of the customer. Which one can we pick? I'm gonna take Nicole Salon. Remember Nicole? Okay, she has a business. Let's open taxes to go to the schedule C. Because this is basically her business right here. Okay, this is her business right here. So let's say she just registered her business, and we have to create the operating agreement. That is basically what I have done for Mial. Remember, Marshall, you have done operating agreement for Marshall. Remember, I asked to do it, and then I've done it. So
yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So let's say we're gonna do for Black Beauty hair braiding. So the first thing to do, I'm gonna close this one right here. I'm gonna go inside the folder to find out like the template. Let's go to the templates here. Okay, this is the folder that you guys have access to. I'm gonna go to operating agreement. Let me type O. Okay, I'm gonna take this one. I open it. Once I open it, the first thing I do is what? Is to go to save. I'm gonna save a copy of it. I'm gonna change it because it's an operating agreement for somebody, for let's say Nicole, because that's for her. And where am I gonna save it? In Nicole folder. What's her folder? Nicole. Okay, operating agreement Nicole. You can see operating agreement Nicole, operating agreement, I don't know, hair braiding, whatever the name of the business is. Okay, the point is that you have to save it. In my folder, you see the name is changed here. It's no longer operating agreement 2. So it means that this one is gonna remain the way it is, right? It's not going to change this, but we create a copy that we're gonna use to upgrade. Okay, what we need to change here is what? The first thing we need to change here is the name of the business, right? That's the first thing we have to change. The second thing we need to change is the name of the owner of the business, which is this one. So we basically need to change this information to adapt them to the new business we have to create. The other thing you have to create is what? You have two things that we have to create here. The first thing is the name of the business. The name of the business, the address of the business, all right?
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is the name of the owner. Name of the owner is different from the name of the business. And the address of the owner will also be different from the address of the business, right?
Yes, if it's LLC.
Yeah. So basically, if the address of the business is also the address of the owner. Then it's gonna be simpler. If we're gonna go through as assuming that the address of the business is also the address of the business owner, okay? Because most LLC, most of the time, the address of the business is also the owner address. So I'm gonna assume here that the address of the business is also the address of the business owner, okay? The other thing we need to change here is the registered agent. Every business register, especially in New Jersey, not even New Jersey, any state, you have to have what is called registered agent. The registered agent is basically the person that will receive any mail from the government. Whenever the government wants to send you a mail, the government will send it to who your registered agent is. Okay, if you open, for example, let me go to Musa, this guy, Musa. Okay, I think the subject, this one too, we open the business for it. Okay, you will see. You see registered agent? You have to have a registered agent. Now, the registered agent could be yourself. Yeah, it's not a problem. But it could also be even a different company. Okay. Basically, you have to know the company's formation date. You have to know the state where the company will be managed in. Okay. Let's go and start to do something about what we have now. The first thing we need to do here is the name of the business. What's the name of the business? Over here, the name is this one. The first thing we're going to do is to select it. Select the name of the business, and we're going to try to find it. We're going to do Control F. You see? You see what happened? We found that name of the business throughout this document. And we use Control F to do that. But there's also a shortcut. So basically, I'm going to stop everything. What you can also do is that you can just go here. You can also select it, go to Find. This is Find right here. It's the same thing. So now you have it. What do we need to do here? We need to actually replace this name of the business with a different name, the name we want to actually create the operating agreement for. We can type Control R, Control H, sorry. Let me see. Let's use the shortcut, which is this one. So normally you should use Control R, Control H to get this open. But we are going to use the template, the shortcut that's actually on your screen. But depending on how your computer is or your Microsoft Office is, sometimes you might not be able to see those shortcuts because you can actually remove them. I can remove them, you won't see nothing here. That's why most of the time it's good to know the key, the command, the key command, the keyboard command. That means it's easier to access to what you want to do. So we have to replace them. What do we have to replace with? Let's say the name of the business is Black Beauty. Let me see. Black Beauty Airports. LLC. So if I hit replace, it's going to replace only on one. What I want to do is to replace over here. I'm going to replace all. You see, we made one replacement in your selection. Do you want to search to search the rest of the document? Yes. So you see, you found it in 3 places. I'm going to say yes. we're good. I can decide to close it if I want to. You can see here that limited liability company operating agreement of Black Beauty. You can see right here, whatever the name of the company appear, that is what is going to show. So that's the business name. Now the business owner, we can do the same thing. And at this time, you can actually even just start with Control H. Okay, you can start with Control H here. You don't have to start with Control Find because H also includes Find. When you have Control H, which is replace, it cannot replace something doesn't exist. It's going to replace something. What is going to replace is what you're going to put in here. And what you do here is that you go and copy this one. You can actually copy it from here. You copy it and you come and paste it here. You remove this. When you copy it, you put the word that you want to replace it with. So what is the word or the name of the business you want to replace with? It's Nicola Soy, I believe. That's your name. Again, what do I want to go? Replace only here or replace everything? I'm going to replace all. See, all done. We made 2 replacements. So I'm done basically. And instead of closing it, you can just save it somewhere here and you go through it to see if it's changed. No, there's an issue here. Let's see what the issue is. You see, it's too close to the next word. Let's see what the issue is. I'm gonna go back here. You see what the issue is? Because
yeah, you highlight the space.
You highlight the space. No, you're not supposed to highlight the space. Yeah. And I did it on purpose so that you see where you can make a mistake. So basically, what we're going to do is to select only what we need. We don't need to select the space. You can even, okay, that's good. Control H. It comes back here. You can actually even type it. You don't have to select. You can actually type the words. But it's good to select because you are picking exactly what is on the document. But you can still type it if you want to. So we're gonna do the same. So we're gonna replace all. Okay. Let me now see. You see now what happened here. This one is good. Replace all. Okay. The issue is here. It's showing with the space over here. So we're gonna go back. We're going to go back. Control H. You need to remove the space over here. Okay, I remove the space here. I'm gonna replace now. See, now it's good. So over here, you make sure there's no space, otherwise it's going to also remove the space on the document. Yeah, whatever you see the name, it should be replaced by Nicola C, Nicola So. It will be replaced over there, all over the place. So we changed the business name, we changed the business owner name. Now, what do we have to change now? We are going to change the address. What's the address? What's the business address? If we assume that the business address is also the business owner's address, then we are going to pick this one. I copy it and I come and paste it here. Now I need to put the real address. What's the correct address? It's a 600 Scotland Road, Orange. 070. Zero 7050. Oh, that's a mistake. No, this is supposed to be here. Yeah. So I need to copy this again and paste it around here. Okay. So we are going to replace this address with this new address here. I'm going to replace it here. So basically, what happened is that you can put it on the side or you can close it. Is that everywhere where you see the address is going to be replaced by what we did, what we put there. It's over here. That's the owner's name. Now, let's put business. Let me keep going here to the owner's name. I don't see any other place where you have the address. Okay, name of the book here. So orange. So we have to change this one too. This one isn't changed for some reason. I think the spelling was not correct. That's why you have to use this command here. That means when you the word that you put somewhere is exactly the same thing. I'm going to put it here. Yeah, I'm going to replace it with this. So it's replaced now. We can move around. Okay. She's also the register agent. So the address is here. Formation. So I think we have changed the address. So the other thing we need to change is what? We change the name, we change the address, we change the business owner, the register agent name. If the register agent is the same as the owner, then we don't even go to register because this is divided into different parts. Register agent name. Normally, if it's a different person, we will come back here, select this. If the register owner was not the owner of the business, we will select over there because the way we change it, it put the owner as the register agent. If the register agent is, for example, also for us, then I'm gonna replace it. You see, and it goes to the next one to know if I want to change this one also. I don't want to change this one. I only want to change the name at the register agent area because the owner is not the register agent. If I keep changing this one, if I keep replace again, it's gonna replace over here. So I don't want to do that. So I'm done with the register agent. The next part we have to do is the date of formation. The date of formation. And also the capital, you actually need to know how much the person is going to put in the account to open the business. But the date of formation is something very important. When was the business incorporated? Formation. Okay, this business was formed over here on this date. I'm going to copy it. I paste it here. And I'm going to type the new name I want to put. Let's say it was formed on January. January 1st, 2017. I'm going to replace it right here. So he wants to know if because most of the time we are doing it the same day that we are creating the business. If we are right on January 18, January 3rd, 2017, yeah, we're also going to change this one right here because we are on that date. So we're going to say we replace this one as well. And you see, we change the date without having to type on different places. We just replace them. Okay. So the next thing is that if it was a different date, because you can create a business today, but you create the operating agreement on a different date. Yeah, you can. It was a different date. I will not replace this last part. I will not replace that because it was a different date. But if you are creating everything on the same date, especially if it's a new company, always put the same date. If you are creating, but if it's a company that was already created and they went to do some business matters and they ask them to provide operating agreement, of course, you're not going to put the date that business was created days or months or years ago in the past. You're going to put the date that the person actually saw you or the order for this. So yeah, we have done with this one. So what else do we need to change? Basically, I think we need to change, we also need to change the amount, how much these people are going to contribute when they are opening the business. Let's say this person puts $2,000 as a capital, initial capital. So we're going to take the 2,000, we put it here. And it's good to put this because if in any place where they are talking about the 2,000 is going to replace, let's say it was 5,000 instead. Let's say this lady, Nicole, is opening the business with 5,000 instead of 2,000. We are going to hit replace right here. And it's the only one. If there were a different place where we need to add that 2,000, you can see we made a mistake here with the space, but I can fix it like this. It's easier. But if you have many places, it's better to go back here, put it without the space. You see there's a space here. We don't select the space. When you select, sometimes you tend to add the space on it. So it's pretty much it. What the operating agreement is actually the purpose most of the time is the same thing. You don't need to change the purpose unless the customer specifically has one. If he has a purpose that he really wants to be putting inside, that is where we're going to change. And you can see business purpose or something. What is that? The purpose of the business, basically the template is to do whatever the law of New Jersey allowed them to do. Yeah, any business can only do what the law allows them to do in the state of New Jersey, in any state where they are formed. Yeah. So the purpose of the company is to engage in and conduct any and all lawful business activity or function, and to carry on any other lawful activity in connection with or incidental to the foregoing as the members in the discretion should determine. That means whatever you guys are going to say you are going to do, it has to be within the law of the state when you are operating. This is basically what the purpose is. But if a business is so well established, they specifically want you to put a purpose, then you're gonna put it on this. You're gonna basically copy all of this, paste here, and type it right here, or just remove it and use your keyboard to type on the same area. So this was basically everything that we need to do when we are creating an operating agreement for a company. So the name is here printed, and I can close this. It's normally a simple thing. I could have just asked you to, I could have just gave you, this. I say I have one in the folder. Go to the folder and replace it. Business creation. Let me see here. I could have just asked you to go and use this one and just go and change it Yes, and you can do it manually. Just go step by step. But when you do that, make sure that you finish it. You read everything at least twice or 3 times to make sure that this address here, you didn't forget to change it on a different place. To make sure that this name here, didn't forget to change it on a different place in the document. That the business company here, you didn't forget to change it everywhere because you are doing it manually, that you have to go through line by line. Whatever the old name was, you have to change it. So I could have just asked to take this and change it. But of course, it's gonna be a longer process to do it. And when you have computer, you have shortcut, always use shortcut. It shows your proficiency with the software. Any person will also like to work with somebody who is more proficient on any software, whether it's Microsoft, Excel, Google Sheet. When you are proficient, you always have an advantage over who is not. And even with the customer, if you are talking to the customer and you are working proficiently, the customer is more satisfied than the person will go manual. Okay, so we're done over here. Do you have any question about this?
Before we do you give us the capital, or like how do we find the capital amount
of
for the
course.
business?
You're gonna ask them what the capital is. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, about capital. The capital is just a number. Okay. A capital is not a number, it's just a number. I can have a $1 million business. The capital is only $10,000. You know that, right? Because you can have internal resource, you can have external resource to run your business or to even expand your business. So the capital, if I have $10,000 a capital and I want to make a purchase or an investment of $50,000 or $200,000, what happened? As a business owner, and that is a tax strategy that I was sharing with what's the name? Not Romeo, the one we created a business last time. Who was it? The one I do it, Marshall. Yeah.
Yeah, Marshall.
This because to open a big, he's actually working on the $500,000 business. So the investment on his business is $500,000. And if you check, the name is Marshall. If you check, what's the name here, Marshall? Okay, business creation. Let's see what his capital is. Solution. Operating agreement. Let's see his operating agreement. When you finish it, the last thing to do when you're here is to save it on the PDF. That's what I did here. It's saved on the PDF. I'm gonna do the same exact thing here. I'm gonna save this here as a PDF, save as. Choose PDF format. What's the PDF format? The other option is to export. I don't know if you have export here. That's another option here. Just export. And I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna call it Nicole, but we know that it's not for Nicole. We leave it here, Nicole. I'm gonna put it test. Okay. Test. Publish. So it's going to create one into that folder. Business creation. And so I'm gonna go back here. If you go back here, you are going to see what did we just, okay, it should be there on, where's that? What did I save it? Let me do the same thing again. Export. You have to specify, okay, it's saved into Nicole folder, looks like it. Okay, let me go to this folder, general folder. Okay, I'm gonna save it in here. Oh, open file after publishing. Oh, it's already open. You see the file is open here. No. I don't want to put this. Don't open the file. Just save it. Okay, let's go to this folder to see if it's in there. Something is not right here. Anyway, you guys, you know how to save something PDF, right? So you can just do something like this, right? You go to print and you put shows PDF here. Saving in PDF should be this easier thing to do. Why is that? You see, save in PDF. Just you have to print it, save in PDF. You specify where you want to save it. X, Y, Z. That's the name. Let's go now. Let's go here and see if it's in there. You see here X, Y, Z, and you see. So yeah, you're going to specify the folder where you want to put, but you can do export. You can choose the type of document what you want to save on or into. What I was about to say was that let's go to see this guy operating agreement to see how much the capital is. Where is the capital? Okay, over here, you see it's 10,000. I just told you it's actually into a $500,000 investment company. So the capital is a numbers because you are before you, let's say there are two of us, you and I. We need something to start. We need to, you're going to spend money on research. You're going to spend money on consulting because he has to consult with us. By the way, ask GPS to check the 2 invoices. I sent him 2 invoices. You remember when I was collecting the invoices? Go and check. If it's not paid, send him the reminder about the business. So you will pay those consulting. You will pay some business creation expense. You will pay a lot of expenses. Maybe part of the money can be invested, but not all the money that you guys are putting aside is going to be the only fund that you need to operate the business. But you need to put something. It could even put 5,000, it doesn't matter. But now I was saying that when you are actually investing or you are incurring expenses, the expense could come from different sources. The first source is internal. That means it's the income that the business has generated that you use to make an expense. For example, you purchase stuff and you sell them, you have income, and you have, like, you purchase for 1,000, you sell it for 2,000. Now you have 2,000. That means 1,000 more than the initial 1,000 that you have. Now you have 2,000 to purchase or to invest. But it could be that it's not an expense, it's an investment. An expense is different from investment in the sense that the expense is just more to operate the business. Like when you pay your employees, you pay for raw material, you pay for this, those are expenses. Investment is still an expense, but in accounting, it's something that's supposed to create a value, supposed to create money. When you spend money to do something that is more operation, it's not an investment, it's an expense. An expense is different from an investment. An investment is what is called capitalized. Capitalized means that you don't deduct it in the same year during the year when you are doing your taxes. If you are making $200,000 expense, no, I mean 30,000 to purchase a new car, during the year you don't have to take 30,000 as an expense for the car. You can do that, but you don't have to. Depending on the goal you want to reach. That's why every business has to consult with an expert. Depending on the goal you want to reach, you can basically decide to expense all the 30,000 in 1 year, or you can capitalize them. That means you split it into maybe 5 years, which is the useful life of the car. So 5 years, you divide 30 by 5, you see what you're going to take, because maybe this year you don't need that much expense in your financial statement. That means you have capitalized them. Now, I was saying that the money that you receive, that you spend, could be from internal. That means it's coming from yourself, or it's coming from yourself. You only have $10,000 as a capital, but you want to purchase a car that costs 30,000. What do? You go to your bank, you take your own money, you put it in your company, in your business account. Let's say you go to your personal account, you remove 30,000, because this 10,000 you spend them all already, but you still need to purchase a car, $30,000 car. You take $30,000 in your bank account, you put in your business account. In accounting, that is a loan that you are giving to your company, but the loan is given by yourself. So you have 30,000, even though the capital was only 10,000. Do you see that?
I see what you're saying.
Okay. Now, it could be that you don't have the 30,000 in your bank account. Now you go and see a bank. The bank actually give you 30,000. You still have 30,000, but it's from an external source. It's still a loan, but it's from somebody you don't know, because if you don't pay them, they can actually sue you, to collect the money. They can send you to a collection and stuff, but you're not going to send yourself to a collection. That's the difference. That means, to bring it to the context, is that you can make a $200,000 expense. How? The bank is going to give you those $200,000. He's in the real estate business. I mean, the bank is going to give him $200,000 or $500,000, or maybe he has other partners that are going to give him the money. But sometimes those partners can give you the money without wanting to actually be a partner. That means they are giving the money as a loan. There are two different types of partnership, not even the bank. Somebody can give you the money to take share of your company. The other person can give the money just to what is called obligation. Every month you have to pay him something because he gave that money. When you are shareholder or partner, you don't receive nothing because you put 100,000 in the business. You don't receive nothing. You want at the end of the year. If there's a profit, you share the profit. There's a loss, you share the loss. If it's a partnership one, you only provide some funds, and every month the company has to give you something. So there are so many that will go into what I'm saying right now. But the goal was that the capital here is just a number, okay? I'm saying that because I can send you someone to explain to him that what the operating agreement is. And also on each part of it, we want to be able to explain to him what he needs to put that. He can ask you you will ask him, what's your estate agent? You will ask you, what is your estate agent? You have to be able to share with him what the registered agent is. And I just told you that at the beginning of this video, what the registered agent is, the purpose of the business. If he doesn't have one, it's not a problem. But the capital, you explain to him why is it that he has to put something there, because let's say you open the bank account, you're gonna put something in there, and still you don't even have to put the same 10,000 in your bank account. You can open a bank account just with 2,000. Why? Because you're gonna get some at the later time to add another 2,000, and then you add another 2,000 until it's 10,000. So it's just a number, okay? But you can use it if you want. You can use it to show the value of your money. If you have a lot of money, you can say, okay, it's a $50,000. If you already know that you are going to invest $50,000 and you have those $50,000, you can put $50,000 as a capital here. That way, it's not going to be considered as a loan to your business when you start using them, okay? When you start using the 50,000, it's not going to be used as a loan. But as a tax strategy, sometimes it's good to put the capital as a loan, and they put the loan and put the 50,000 as a loan. Why? Because at the end of the year, you can actually pay interest on the same $50,000 that you loan to your business. You see, if you put $50,000 here in your business as a loan, what happened? The company has to pay the $50,000 back with interest. Let's say it's 10%. That means the company is going to pay you how much? $55,000 to yourself. You see that?
Yeah, that's when you put it as a loan.
It means the company is going to take those interest as expense in his financial statement. So that is what is called non-cash expense in accounting. You take an expense, you didn't spend money, you didn't do nothing, but you're taking expenses. So yeah, that's why companies have to consult that when they don't consult, they always overspend, they always overpay tax, they always lose some opportunity. So yeah, we're done here with CCC was for Marcia, so I close it. So we are done with this one. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys today when it comes to this operating agreement. So we talk about operating agreement, which is a document that every is like a chart, it's like a bylaw of the company. Okay, it's like a bylaw of the company. Some companies, when you want to open the business, the bank account, some bank will require you to provide the operating agreement, especially if there are at least two members of the company. They will want to see the operating agreement to know who is in charge of what. We can see here. Okay, this is where it becomes very interesting. Book record. Okay, management of the company. Yeah, who can do what? The business and affair of the company should be conducted and managed by the members in accordance with the agreement. The agreement means you guys and the law of the state of New Jersey. Okay, so Nicole, as the sole member, the company has sole authority. When it's a multi-member, we will put the name of the member here, and we can also allow other members to have some other authority, other power to sign the thing that they have to sign. So it's this paper that show the bank that the bank has to do what the bank is supposed to do. And this is how you put the name of the person who is supposed to sign any check, for example, the company. So this was the simple one that you only sole member. So the next time I'm gonna show how we can do for multi-member. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna stop here. If there's a question, we still know how to ask a question about all of this. Okay.